There was once a boy the world had forgotten. A boy everyone looked down on because he had nothing, but inside him burned a fire strong enough to change his entire destiny. His name was Ethan Parker. He was born into a broken home. His father left when he was just 10, and his mother worked 2 jobs just to keep the lights on. Well, when there were lights, most nights they sat in the dark. Ethan studied under a streetlight because they couldn't afford electricity. He wore the same shoes every day, torn, faded, and old. Kids laughed at him. They said, "Look at that poor kid. He'll never make it." But Ethan would smile and whisper to himself, "You'll see me one day." Every morning he woke up before sunrise, delivering newspapers before school. Every evening he washed dishes at a small restaurant. He didn't have much, but he had purpose. When others slept, he studied. When others complained, he worked. And when others gave up, Ethan kept pushing forward. He failed again and again. Sometimes he'd come home exhausted, eyes filled with tears. He thought about quitting more times than he could count. But then he'd see his mother silently crying at the kitchen table, and he'd say to himself, "I can't stop now." One night, sitting alone with a cheap old phone, he searched how to code. No teacher, no fancy laptop, just YouTube and determination. He practiced for hours every night, until his fingers ached and his eyes burned. Months passed, and finally, he got his first freelance project, worth just $50. But for Ethan, that $50 meant everything. It was proof that he could build his own future. From that day on, he never looked back. He kept learning. He kept growing. And one day, the boy who once studied under a streetlight opened his own tech company. Years later, he walked his mom into a new house, her house. He handed her the keys and said, "Mom, this is for every night you cried silently, while I promised myself I'd make you proud." That day she cried again, but this time they were tears of pride. And those same people who once said, "You'll never make it," were now saying, "We always knew you could." But deep down, Ethan knew the truth. This wasn't about proving them wrong. This was about proving himself right. Because success doesn't need money. It needs madness. It needs belief when nobody else believes. It needs the courage to rise every time you fall. Moral of the story: no matter how poor you are, no matter how hopeless things may seem, if your dreams are real and your heart is strong, you will rise. Every struggle, every sleepless night, one day becomes the story that inspires others. And the world will say, "That's the one who made it."